Are we on? Welcome back again, friends, to the house that never sleeps. Good Lord, I'm telling you, if you caught sleeping around here, you just better not do it. Back on this Martin D15 again today. I finished the D28 neck reset. That job is done. Couldn't show it to you, but anyways, last video I put a hygrometer down in here, sealed it all off, and it's been 48 hours. Now we're going to know the moisture content of this wood right here, because the top number is the humidity. It's 54 inside the guitar. That's almost at a maximum of 55. Okay, here's what it is in this room. Now the low one is the humidity on this one. 64, I think it is. Yeah, it's 64% humidity in this room, and 54%. It just now went up to 55 because I took it out of there. Inside of the guitar, you have to leave them in there for at least 24 hours. I recommend 48. These I'm talking about. Leave them in your guitar and leave it sealed off for 48 hours, and you'll get a good reading of exactly what the moisture content in this wood is. But that's not what we're here for today. Today we're going to start leveling and dressing and crowning these frets. However, y'all know I've got a ton of videos on that, man, and a ton of instruments where I went into detail and explained everything step by step. This video, this job, I'm going to split up. Like today, we're just going to level the frets. May not even do any more than that. I'm going to show you how I do it. Next video, maybe, well, maybe we'll level them and crown them today. And then the next video, polish them and go through all the sandpaper grits and polish them, and the, this stuff here. Can't think what it's called, semi-chrome polish. I've had it so long I forgot what it's called. Because, you know, sometimes somebody comes, they want to learn how to do a fret job or something like this. And, you know, they want to sit through a 30-minute or hour-long video to find the one thing that they want. Say if they want to learn something about crowning. So this way, I'm not feeling too good today. I haven't been feeling good for a couple days now. So I thought, you know, I'll split this up into shorter videos. And, you know, I'll call them leveling and crowning on this one, if that's what all we do on it. That way if someone, you know, comes on the channel or on YouTube and looking for, you know, videos to learn how to level and crown, they'll find them just like that without having to sit through a whole entire fret leveling, dressing, polishing progress. So let me gather up the stuff I need. I need glasses for one thing. And I'll get my files and stuff out here and we'll go to work. Let's do it! Alright, first thing we're going to do is color all the frets blue. Maybe if I can find a blue marker. It can't be any other color. It's got to be blue. Nothing else works. Yeah, I always like to kid around about that. Whatever color you have works. I can see blue better than most colors, it seems like. So that's what I'm using. And you just make sure you get the blue coloring down in those dents that are worn into the fret, because those are what we want rid of. I'm using this little fretboard protector. I don't know, it just depends on, you know, if my hands are shaky, I can do it as well without it. You know, if I hit the fretboard with a marker, I can fix that. It's an easy fix, but I'm using this anyway because, like I say, I haven't been feeling too awful good. I've certainly had better days, feeling wise. I think it's some kind of stomach virus or something, I think. Better than it was yesterday. I was sick all day yesterday. Now I have these diamond grit files. The coarse, medium, the blue one's fine. I'm going to start with the coarse because we're going to have to take quite a bit of material away here to get rid of those dents. That one dent under the second string I showed you in the other video, it's pretty serious, really. Where that other? Maybe this one would be better. Get it down closer to the table. It don't move as much, wobble as much. you want to have your neck straight for this also. And then we already did that in the last video. We're just going to start back here, and I'm not going to shove down on this thing and start really grinding away at it. You know, if you shove too hard, you're going to, if I had this up here, shove too hard, I'm going to bend relief in the neck. I'm not even going to sand it aggressively. I'm just going to set the file on there very gently. Woo! Look at you. I don't know how well the camera's going to pick this up, but you can see anywhere there's blue left is not being touched by the file. Of course, I didn't even sand enough file enough to get the radius out of the board yet, but look at that second string. Look at that second string divot and the first string on those frets. So we're just going to keep grinding away at it until those dents under that second and first string are no longer seen. And they're all the way almost right down to the body. Check that out. I can see it right there on that fret a little bit. I can see a little, looks like a dent right there. Anyways, color them blue and do this again. See where we're missing the outer sides here and here. That's mostly because of the radius. We got to make those frets completely flat, no radius whatsoever. So I'm going to get on this. I'm not going to bore you to death with it. I'll bring you back and we will talk more as we go. Frets are leveled, all except the dents. The dents are all gone except right there, under the first and second strings. And I'm going to stop there now and go to the fine, I'll sweep all this off, go to the fine file, and well, that was a coarse. Yeah, I might go to the medium one a little bit and then the fine one. And by the time I do that and crown these frets, those two dents that are left will be all gone. All gone. All gone. So I went through all three of those files now, down to the fine one. Remove most of the file marks. You can still see those two little dents. If the camera will cooperate and focus. Right there. And the reason you can still see them is because I've got to put the radius back in now. And I've got to crown them. And by the time we do that, by the time we put the radius back into the frets, focus, those two little dents will be completely invisible. Guaranteed. And that's what's up next. So as I measured in earlier videos, it's got a 12-inch radius in the fretboard. And I have a 12-inch radius block here. I don't know if you can read that. Big 12 on it. Sandpaper here. This is 600 grit, I think, or 650. I forget. I used the old Luthier's trick. Cover your entire block with painter's tape. Cover the back of the sandpaper with painter's tape. Super glue. Stick the two together, and that's brand new paper. Then when you're finished, you can take the paper off really easy and put more paper on the block. And I colored the frets blue again. I know you probably can't see that, but 12-inch block. The reason I colored them blue again is for the same reason as before. Woo! Are we having fun yet? As you can see, there's a tiny little bit of blue left right up kind of on the side of this area. We have to, you can still see the dents are still with us. They're smaller though. We have to keep sanding until the entire, across the radius, you know, until there's no more blue. Then we know we have a 12-inch radius back into the frets. They're looking a lot better. Stupid camera. That'll be gone by the time after we crown the frets. There she are through a macro lens. Wow, that's just about as close as I can get to it and zoom in on it without the camera going haywire. There you go. Need to sweep that metal stuff away. There's a macro lens of what's left of the terrible dents that all the frets had. Most of them did. That was the worst one. That's the 3rd fret, right under where the B string, 2nd string, lives. Hold on. I talked about this on this channel before. If you get these files here from StuMax, where I got them, they're very expensive. I don't even know if they still sell them or not. You would think medium would be for guitar, narrow for maybe mandolins, and wide for electric basses or, you know, jumbo frets. You would think. When I first bought this medium file, I thought, you know, I only need one for guitar. Wrong, man. This is for jumbo frets, and I can even do bass frets with this. Get the narrow one. It's the one that you're going to need on 95% of guitars that you crown the frets on. I don't know. I think it's a marketing strategy thing that they do. It's got like, get it over here where I can see it. This end of it right here is 300 grit. Okay. You want to start with, take the thing out, turn it over, put it back in, and this is 150 grit. That's what we want to start with. Go over the front. I got to color the frets blue again. I just now remember that. And then I'll bring you back and start going over it with this jewel. But I wanted to throw that in about these files. I don't even know, I like to say, if StuMax still carries them or not. Alright, so I've colored all the frets blue yet again. You're going to be coloring the frets blue a lot of times if you ever do this. I'll explain why. I'm going over this with this crowning file. I'm using 150 grit right now. And I want to file until all the blue is gone except the very top across that fret. I want to leave a very slight, thin, minute line of blue. This assures me that we still have our flatness all the way down the fretboard. Still flat as it was when I had the big files out here. Okay? And then I'm going to turn this over like so and go over, marking blue again, go over the whole thing again, leaving a very slight, minute blue line behind. These frets are really soft on this guitar, but you can see what a quick job this makes of fret crowning. These are diamond grit files, that's why they're so expensive. But they get the job done in a hurry, man. That's what you pay for. It's what we as technicians or luthiers pay for. So we don't have to spend all day doing this. It's still going to take a long time, but I almost slipped with the file right there. And every now and then I'll knock the, you probably can't see much at all at that angle. Anyways, I beat it on the desk every now and then just to knock the filings out of it. Or anything else that I think it might have in it. I'm going to have to change angles here, get a new position, something. You do not want that file to slip. Very bad things can happen. I'll bring you over here shortly to show you what I'm talking about, the blue line. It's going to be really hard for me to show you this under the lights and the reflection. There is a tiny, very minute flat spot across the tops of the frets now. That's the little thin blue line. I hope you can see it. And see, like I said, that assures me that we still have every fret in uniform to each other and flat on the very tip. Plus, by leaving the tip of your frets flat, there's a lot of F shit in there. By leaving the tip of your frets flat, they last longer and they don't wear out as quick. Let me explain. I've got all kind of fret videos about it, and I talked about that very thing, leaving that a flat spot across the very tips of your frets. For one, it maintains your levelness. that you worked so hard to get. This is many hours later from when I had the big diamond grit square files. You remember the that I started with. Okay, by doing this, I got to sweep that off, paint them blue again. By keeping that very flat, minute line across the top, that assures us we still got our flatness with radius in it though now. And it also assures us, well, it don't assure us, it lasts longer. The frets last longer if you have a little flat spot on top. If you crowned your frets and they were very sharp on top and just a tiny bit of the fret touched the string when you noted a string, frets like that are going to wear out really fast. You're going to get dents in that thing. I mean, I'm talking fast. Put just a slight flat place like I'm doing, like I always do in all the videos I show, and they'll last way, way longer, you know, than they would if you just crown them, you know, to a crown. So now I got to sweep this up, paint them blue again, and bring you back. Hold on. Oh! So now I've painted all the frets blue again, colored them blue. I switched this from 150 grit to 300. Done did a couple frets here. You can't see too good anyway, but I'll just tell you what's going on real quick. You can hear this file doesn't bite in like that 150 grit does. It's still diamond grit. And this removes all the file marks that the last file made. And there again, you want to leave that little tiny line across every fret to assure that you have still got your flatness going on. It's very important, very much important. The thing's awful wobbly for some reason. And that's even worse. I think y'all's going to really be amazed when you hear what this guitar sounds like. This is one of the better sounding D15s that I've ever had a hold of. I think you might agree. This one's a little bit slower than the other one, but that's okay. It's removing those file marks for the most part. And we got to go through a whole bunch of grits of sandpaper, and it's going to be many hours more that pass. Very slow, painstaking process. Hopefully you can see that little sliver of blue. Man, the way the light hits it, it's really hard to get on camera. Just in the center top of each fret, just a little blue sliver. Let's look at these here. Maybe if I don't think you're going to be able to, I don't think I'm getting it in the camera. Yeah, maybe there a little bit. So hard to get that in the camera. But all I got to do is sweep it off again. Now we got to go through a whole bunch of grits of sandpaper. This is the funnest part. And there you have it, friends. Leveling and crowning. Well, leveling, putting the radius back in, and crowning with two different grits. Leaving that little sliver of blue across the top of every fret. That's very important, guys, if you ever do your frets or anyone's frets. Now, I got to go through a whole bunch of sandpaper. I got to get them out here and cut them up and make little pieces. And I'll go over every fret, every single fret. I'm going to take a 1500 grit. Actually, I'm going to take an 800 grit to start with. Oh, I don't know what I was thinking. I told you, been sick, man. I feel rugged, nasty, crappy. We'll start with a rough grit sandpaper. Go over every fret. And then get a smoother grit each time. 800, 1000, 1200, 1500, and 2000 until these frets look like a mirror image. You know, luthiers around here, I've complained about it before. Around here where I live, you get your guitar back and bend a string and it's just god awful. I mean, it's just scratchy, scrapey, and it feels funky. And they tell you to play it, man. It'll wear down in a few days. You pay for a fret job, you should never be told that or have to do that. When you get my frets back, I mean, you bend a string, man, you're going to think it's just greased or on a piece of glass. That's the way they should be. That's what you're paying for. Anyways, I'm not going to do that in this video because I feel crappy. I'll come back tomorrow and go through all those grits of paper. 800, 1,000, 1,200, 1,500, 2,000, maybe even 25. Each fret. That takes a long time. And I'm not going to include that in this video. This video is just leveling and crowning. Maybe I'll put a how-to about that, or maybe what I'll call this video. I don't know. We still got to shave the bridge back here on this guitar. That's coming up. You need to get measurements and see how much different the plane of the fretboard to the plane of the bridge is. Calculate what we got to take off, and probably use a belt sander on that. That seems to work as well as anything I've ever used. I have used a plane before, but it's kind of hard to keep that radius. The bridge back here has got some radius to it. Now, it's not important what it is. It doesn't match the fretboard. Doesn't have to. I think it's for looks more than anything else. But you know, you don't want to just grind the top of the bridge off flat. We want to keep that arch and make it look nice. So that's coming up, not in the next video, but well, if I film the sanding and explain any of that, then the bridge shaving will come after that. Anyway, cheers. Thanks for watching. I'm rambling. I got a headache. I'm sweating. The stomach's just, I don't know, man, what's wrong. Cheers to you. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped. See you next time.